Good evening, everyone. I hope you all. I see there's quite a lot of comments already. Welcome here to this subscribers live chat. And remember to like this video and share this video so that the people can also get to see this content. I see a lot of Double O Days channel members here. So please invite other people to come into this live chat. It's important that we get as many people as possible to hear this information. So I hope you've all had a good week so far. I hope you can hear me fine, see me fine. Hi, Nola, Jonathan, AJ, Vivian, Shirley, Jareta, hi, Kitty. Oh, Jonathan is load shedding. So many of you might have load shedding. Those of you that are on my Telegram group, I put out an announcement earlier that there will be level 2 load shedding, which means 2,000 megawatts worth of load shedding around the country. Okay. Hi, Hannes, Marlene. Hi, T. Christy, Lorenz. The end is now. It depends on what end you're talking about. Darwin, Evelyn, Terence, hi. James and Valerie. Gert, hi. Jaap. It's mostly members. Hi, Gerrit. Oh, thanks. Oh, my word. I love that chair. That is hilarious. That's so funny. Thanks so much. Yeah, that I put towards my internet fees, which is now 1,300 rands a month. It's quite expensive, but I get great pleasure in making the content for you. And as I've said, I will make 3 videos a day. So I've done this now throughout this period where we celebrate 2 years of Double O Days. You're going to get a lot of content. And remember, on the 22nd and 26th of July, you're going to get 13 videos on each of those days. Last week, Friday, I made 10 videos plus the birthday celebration video, so 11. It was an avalanche of videos. If you've missed any of those, they're all important. Go and watch them. They have all received a lot of views, but not as many as they can. So if you've missed any of them, go back, go through them and watch them, please. Okay. And yes, tonight we're going to talk about South Africa's place in the world. It's interesting, Justin. Hi. You say, please like and share, and I have to decide whether I want to show it or not, as if there's something wrong with that comment. Hi, Rebecca. AJ, hi. Del in Portugal is hot as hell, weather-wise, and the sun is still shining. Well, thanks for joining us. There's many people joining us from overseas. Over the seas. I was just talking with my family earlier how the planes don't fly over the Atlantic. They actually fly all the way up to Europe and then across to the USA and then down to South America again. So it's quite a roundabout. And now people flying out from OR Tambo, they're having delays because of the fuel shortages. And I see government is now literally implemented the emergency plans so that they don't embarrass themselves as badly as they already have. So yeah, it's embarrassing that you first need a fuel shortage before someone does something about it. Hi, Colleen, you've been a member for 10 months already. That's really awesome. Some people have been members now for 11 months. So soon it's going to be a year of the Double O Days channel members. But yeah, in these streams on Tuesday evenings at 8, everyone is welcome. We don't go into the detail that I do in the Double O Days members live chats. And a lot of people don't understand a lot of things that I say, because I have disclosed those things. There's Marty, 11 months. They don't understand what I say because they're not in the member chat. So in the member chats, I disclose certain things and I give those people clues and information along the way. And it's meant for them even when I do a normal video. So if you're not there, you won't understand. It's fine. You'll still be getting all the other info that you need. But the members get very specific info. They get that specific info in the community tab as well. I put out very specific links for them to go and check, very specific videos for them to go and watch. So if you decide to become a member, as Uncle Rob said, the price of a cup of coffee, then you can have access to that information. It's absolutely your choice. Otherwise, every Tuesday evening there will be a live stream like this one for you, and in this one I'm going to discuss South Africa's place in the world, and that's quite an important topic to speak on. There's a lot of confusion that a lot of people have with regards to where we stand. Are we relevant? If we are relevant, why are we relevant? How does the rest of the world see us? And how are we strategically linked to what is happening in the world? And in my Double O Days meetings, I cover it in a lot of detail. And as I've said, I will do a Double O Days meeting recording, and I will announce a date and the venue for that, and will invite people to that. And I will also do a Zoom meeting on the power triangle. And if I give you a link to something to watch, it doesn't mean I agree with everything in what you're watching. I might agree with nothing in what you're watching. That could be the whole point, is showing you what is out there in the world. So don't make assumptions. I had someone say very interesting things to me the other day on Twitter, when I put out a tweet and got an unrelated response that said, but what about all the people that have been stealing the minerals from South Africa for all the years? Why don't you talk about that? And the person's just ill-informed. Anyone that's been to my Double O Days meeting will know that I speak about that at length, that I've spoken about the fact that we don't benefit from the minerals in this country at all. And this is a good starting point for our place in the world. And I'm going to tell you some things. Hi, Nikki Buerta, 11 months a member. Hello, load shedding. Oh, shucks. Patricia, 5 months. Anti-Marxist, 11 months. How is Uncle Rob? Well, when I speak to Uncle Rob now, we have some important things to discuss. Then I will tell you, but I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's perfectly fine. So I will be surprising you very soon with something with regards to Uncle Rob. I don't know if Uncle Rob is watching tonight, but yeah, I'll be contacting him soon, maybe tomorrow, about that. So our place in the world, the first thing that I want to explain to you is people don't understand Cecil John Rhodes and the role that he played within Africa and South Africa. There's a lot of, let me call it, gangster media out there around the person. And I'm not vilifying or non-vilifying the person. I'm just saying that there's a very specific narrative put out with regards to the history of Cecil John Rhodes. That is not the truth. And I recently put out a video on human experiment. Who of you have been enjoying the videos on human experiment? Especially the last one. Who of you have been enjoying the videos on human experiment? But I put out a video there with a commentary from a very old man that made like a final statement for people in the future of the world, and to say what he would tell people 1,000 years from now. And it was quite profound what he had to say, that if those were his last words of advice, what they would be. And I picked those specific video clips because I thought they were very relevant, and I wanted people to have that perspective that he gave. And it wasn't a religious perspective, it wasn't an associated perspective, it was just straightforward. And I really like that. And the picture that he painted, because he knew a lot about what's happening in the world, the picture that he painted is a simple one, that we need to work with facts. And if it comes to history, facts can be blurred depending on which side wins. Okay, so he said we need to work with facts. And then he said that we need to love rather than hate, that love will have good outcomes and hate will have bad outcomes. It's such a simple thing to say, and very, very true. But working with facts, that's what the Double O Days is about, is putting facts out there. And this is important. So with regards to the world, Cecil John Rhodes, I mention him for a reason. You can link Cecil John Rhodes to the Kimberley Diamond Mine era, to Barney Bonato, to the Oppenheimers, to the Rothschilds, and many other people. But what role did he play amongst those people? And very much like Nelson Mandela, Cecil John Rhodes was a man that grew up with a certain mindset that changed over time. So if you look at his history, you will see that in his younger years, he had a very specific opinion. And that opinion changed as he spent time on the African continent with people from Africa. His opinion changed completely to the point where he would put everything that he worked for into helping the people that he cared for so dearly. Do you know that there's a tribe of people protecting his gravesite because they absolutely revere the man that he was? Now, this is not me giving an opinion. This is me giving you facts about Cecil John Rhodes and perspectives that you might not see in the mainstream media. So you need to ask yourself, why is there a group of people in Zimbabwe that absolutely revered this man? Why did they revere him? Because they accepted him as one of their own. Why did they do that? Because he became one of them. And this is something that you need to understand, especially in his old age. He started turning completely against this New World Order, perfect society idea. And he realized that the people of Africa have a secret. That if the rest of the world had to fall to pieces, they would be the last people to survive. And this will give you an idea of South Africa's role in the rest of the world, okay? And this is not a perspective that you're going to get from many other people. And a lot of people will laugh at me and think that I don't know what I'm talking about, but the future will prove me to be true. And what I'm saying to be true for one simple reason. It's based on evidence, okay? So if you create a society that build nuclear weapons so powerful that you can destroy your society, how intelligent are you actually? How clever is that society? Is that society clever? Are the people that maintain missile silos that can deliver nuclear weapons across the world, how clever are they? That fly bombers with nuclear weapons attached to them, how clever are they? Because you can choose to not do that job. There could be no people willing to do that job. None. How clever are these people? You have to ask yourself that question. So you sit with a tribe in the middle of Africa, somewhere in a rainforest, and America and Europe decide to attack each other with nuclear weapons, or Eurasia, or whatever you want to call it. Say Russia and America, they go at each other and they nuke each other. Now, this scenario will never take place, and there's many reasons why, and I'll get to that later. Imagine the scenario takes place, okay? Who has achieved what? So the fact that there are nuclear weapons in both those continents is a farce. They're never going to use it like that. They never intended to use it like that. So you need to ask yourself, why were those nuclear weapons built in the first place? And this is where South Africa becomes key. And I'll get to that later. They were never built as a deterrent. You don't need 1,000 nukes to be a deterrent. You need one nuke to be a deterrent. One nuke that'll blow up a city center is sufficient to be a deterrent. I mean, really, if you think about it, if someone can explode a nuke in close to the White House and destroy the entire capital of America, kill the entire government, don't you think that's deterrent enough? Of course, it's enough of a deterrent. So North Korea is a global game player because they develop nuclear weapons. So all the Rothschilds have to do is get various countries to manufacture nuclear weapons, including South Africa, and then they have many role players that they can play with in the world on their big chessboard, because it's the simplest thing to do. And what you do at the same time is you rally these countries against each other. You need to play this chess game where the people are riled up against each other. In the meantime, there's this country at the southern tip of Africa, and I'll get back to the tribe in the rainforest just now. The southern tip of Africa, that's far away from all this nonsense. That country is the key to the survival of the global elites. I'll repeat that. That country, the Southern African area, is the key to the survival of the global elites because it's far removed from any scenario that they might be planning to unleash on the rest of the world. Okay, so no government is going to shoot freaking 1,000 nukes at another country because they're going to have 1,000 nukes coming back at them. So no government is going to do that. But who can do that? Who can get the world to unleash all its nuclear weapons? Certainly not someone in their military. And this is where things become very interesting. And if you look at the thumbnail to this video and you look at the heading, it's the hidden world. And that hidden world is actually in plain sight for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. Because they are dictating to us every day of our lives. They are not in government. They will never waste their time by being in government. They are above governments. They are above monarchies. They are above any association of anything that has to apply to any law. International law, laws of a country, South African law, none of those laws apply to these people. You need to find out who they are. The people that don't bind themselves to any laws. They are the rulers of this world, and they are easy to spot and find. So when I was in Parliament, and don't forget, I will come back to the tribe in the middle of Africa, and I saw Margaret Thatcher giving instructions to Harry Oppenheimer and Anton Rupert. Those of you that watched the video on the Committee of 300 must have really had a light bulb go off the moment you heard about John talking about Margaret Thatcher giving instructions to other people that became world leaders later. Okay? And I found that interesting because I uploaded that video before I've even watched the full video. I just wanted people to get the perspective. So that tribe in the middle of Africa, if they are completely removed from any worldly conflict, they will survive anything. There can be nuclear war going off all over the place, and no government will do that. I can guarantee you that. If something like that had to happen, it's not going to be governments doing it. But they will be oblivious to it, totally oblivious. And even if some people should die from radiation poisoning that eventually ends up there, but with the raining winds, it won't be possible. Some people might just die over a period of time and the rest will carry on as if nothing's happened, as if nothing has happened. And that will be what is left of humanity. And that will literally over time improve and improve until it creates a civilization that ends up who knows where. So the most intelligent group of people are those that don't destroy themselves. The most intelligent group of people are those that do not self-destruct. In other words, the ones that don't build the technology that will end their existence. And South Africa is key to the world elite's survival. Why? There's a couple of reasons. Firstly, South Africa supplies all the precious metals that you need in nuclear weapons around the world. So all the superpowers of the world, superpowers are nuclear powers, okay? But then they will say, no, you must sign the test ban treaty. You shouldn't build nuclear weapons, but I'm allowed to have nuclear weapons because I'm better than you. That's literally what they are saying. South Africa supplied everything that made those people superpowers. They couldn't do it without us. The precious metals that are necessary to build the devices, the trigger devices, etc., in their nuclear weapons comes from here. So without us, they couldn't do it. So they had to get control of this country. They had to get control of our country's minds for them to be able to become superpowers, to be this credible threat. And then they had to create a nuclear threat in people's minds. How is that threat playing out now? The Biden administration, the Russian administration, the British administration, talking and yapping about nuclear war. Even Elon Musk is in trouble now. He is going to get taken out by the Russians because he has put Starlink satellites in contact with the people in Ukraine. Whoopie-ki-yay. It is all a load of twat. None of those governments are going to launch a barrage of nuclear weapons at each other. Not a chance. No government will do that. But there are people that will use nuclear weapons. And I'm not going to discuss how they will unleash it on the world now. But I can guarantee you there's people that will use it to a certain end very easily, especially to create a one world government. So South Africa's mineral wealth is key. And for that tribe living in the middle of Africa, where they don't even need minerals, all they need to survive are the 5 things you need for survival: water, food, shelter, energy, and something to keep you sane. All tribes on this planet at the moment that I'm aware of have the capability to have those 5 things for survival: water, food, shelter, energy. They can all make fire, and something to keep you sane, the things you keep yourself busy with. So humans across the world, I don't care if they're in the middle of the Amazon jungle, are surviving right now. So the most intelligent groups of humans are the ones that will survive their growth in intellect to the point where they produce things that'll kill them off. If your culture doesn't allow you to produce that, you could be the only surviving culture on earth. Think about what I'm saying now. And this might be counterintuitive for a lot of people, but I'm just stating facts. And a lot of people don't like facts. Facts are not convenient. So why is South Africa special and unique? Our place in the world. Because there's world elites already bunkering themselves in many places in South Africa. Many places in Southern Africa is being used by world elites to find refuge and a place of safety. Why is that? Why is South Africa so unimportant on the world stage? Because the world elites don't want to attract attention to South Africa. Our government might be trying everything in their power to make us look relevant. But as I've said in the last 2 live streams on the African National Congress's history, they're a farce. They're fake. They mean nothing. They never have. What we see today. The original African National Congress that started in the early 1900s to the 1930s was the only real organization that ever existed. They were conservative. They were peace-loving. All they wanted was justice for everyone that they were standing for. Those that had their rights taken away by the British. By the British. The ANC we have today is a complete farce. It's just a puppet organization of these global elites. So they don't see the ANC as a problem. Because they put them there, they can remove them. Because they put the DA there, they can remove them. Because they put the EFF there, they can remove them. They can do to them whatever they want. These organizations weren't proper, true movements that grew up from the ground. You do not build a large organization that keep you in power off of social grants. That is not true power. It is theft. That's what it is. So we are sitting with a situation in South Africa where our place in the world is unique. We have global elites that want to have control of this country, but this country has rejected them outright. They have rejected their vaccinations. They have rejected their control. They have rejected so many things about the world elites that use the United Nations and the World Health Organization to try and control what the people do on the ground. Southern Africa has rejected it. Many other countries in Africa has rejected it outright. So what does it say for Africa and Southern Africa, especially South Africa where we live, where you have people in metros that are called First World and a so-called government that they call First World, they call it democratic, with a constitution, a constitution. That's what it is, a con. That's absolutely what it is. That is what we have. And what does it mean to the global elites? It means control over the country, except for one problem. They did not understand the people on the ground in this country. They did not understand the struggles that the people of South Africa had been through over not just decades, but centuries. People from all backgrounds. People that fled here from Europe, Germans, Dutch, French, Greeks, Portuguese, people from all over the world that fled persecution. People that wanted the right to exercise their religion, their freedoms the way they wanted to. That's why the people were willing to go over the mountains to get away from the British. Because the moment the British landed here, the British wanted to exercise that new world order upon the people of South Africa, and they said, stuff off. There was a first and second Boer War because of that. There were many wars against many of the tribes in Africa. And there were many massacres that took place. And all of these things showed one thing. People were willing to die to remain the way they were. And that makes us unique. Very unique. And this new order that they are busy indoctrinating your kids with, because this is their last avenue, it's their last chance to indoctrinate the country, is your kids, is the doctrine of greater good ideology. The doctrine of greater good ideology is the mainstay of this new world order being created in South Africa. If they cannot create this doctrine of greater good ideology, their cause is lost. So they have to make people believe that you should not lay down your life for freedom, that you should absolutely give up your freedom to stay alive. Give up your freedom to stay alive. The exact opposite of what the Boers and the Xhosas and the Zulus and the Sothos and many other people have fought for, the Khoi and the San, fought for freedom, for them to carry on with their lives the way they want to. They were willing to die to maintain that freedom. That's what makes this country unique. And at the end of the day, the British could only conquer one thing in this country, and that is our minds and our government. So the British have full control over two big things in this country: our minds and our government. And the other thing they have control over is our banking system. We have a central bank, a reserve bank, and then we have NASPAS, a nationale pers, that can control the media. If you can control the minerals of the country, if you can control the media of the country, if you can control the finances of the country, if you can control the government of the day, then you own the judiciary, because the judiciary is within that system. And the people are then pitted against their government, against the judiciary, against the banks, against the large corporations, against the mining companies, against the government. Isn't that what's happening in South Africa right now? Aren't we all pitted against those organizations? And you need to ask yourself why. When there's millions of South Africans that don't believe in any of them, in fact, the majority don't even want to take part in the electoral process, why don't we just do something about it? That is the big question. And the answer is simple. South Africa is still going through extreme trauma. People from all cultures, backgrounds, religions, shapes, and sizes are traumatized. This country is going through extreme trauma. And while we're going through this trauma, we need to first find our feet, find ourselves. And once we come out of that, we will absolutely become the next superpower in the world. Not because we own nuclear weapons, but because we have the strongest citizenry in the world. If you look at other countries, They have weaknesses. You have citizens that are fully controlled by the governments. Look at China. Look at North Korea. Look at many other countries. The citizens are controlled by the governments. Are we controlled by our government? Not a chance. I mean, we go and we burn down half a province. No problem. Okay? And if the government does anything that the people don't like, they'll burn the country to the ground overnight. There'll be nothing left. And they'll be fine because they will just carry on with life as it's been forever, because only the elites really benefit from the system. The elites that are running overseas now, leaving the country faster than you can say knife. They can't wait to get out of here to all the places where they feel safe and important. Thanks, Heinrich. I hope that your super bean flying over there. I like the color. It's a beautiful color. So people, we are in such a unique place and position and situation right now. And what I want to say to the people of South Africa is, firstly, you live in the best country in the world right now. The best country in the world by far. Why? Because we don't care about our constitution. Most South Africans don't even care about laws. Now, a lot of people will say, but that is why we have so much crime and theft and so on. No. If you speak to any police station commander and you ask him who are all the gangs in your area, he can name the gangs one by one, the gang leaders. They know exactly who the criminals are. The criminals are allowed to operate in the country. Why? They need that 20% of GDP to be strong, because they need people to live in fear for the government to have legitimacy. Outside of that fear and crime, our government would be pointless. What are they good for? The moment the COVID pandemic started, what did the people say? Cyril is a superhero. They put out pictures everywhere of Cyril flying around like Superman with a cape attached. And I thought, yo, you were just shouting and screaming at the ANC the other day how much you hate them, how much you want them to fall as a government, but Cyril is now a superhero. Are you flipping for real? Why do people do this? Because they are deeply traumatized. And we are going through a transition right now, and we are on our way to a new governance system. And that is what is most important in South Africa right now. Now, why is the rest of the world absolutely not interested in our country? If you go and speak to people in America, if they haven't been to South Africa, they won't even know where it is. Donald Trump couldn't even say Namibia. He said Nambia. Most of these countries are not important to these places. Why? Those countries are so self-centered that everything is about them. The rest of the world does not exist. In South Africa, only to the people that are being controlled by government and mass media knows everything about what's happening in the rest of the world. Everything. Because they need to believe that our country is okay, that you need to stay here and pay your tax. Please pay your tax. All your tax money you need to pay. It's very important that you pay your tax. And now SARS is panicking, and I hear that 60%, there was an article out, 60% of applications to say that you run your office from home was rejected by SARS in last year, the last financial year. They are panicking because they're not getting the money they need. And now with the census, they're panicking even more because the people are telling the census people to stuff off. Now, I've since found out it's actually in our country compulsory to take part in the census. It's a 10,000 Rand fine or imprisonment if you don't take part in the census. Then I'll say, people, there's 6 people in my home, bye. That's it. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know anything else. They don't need to know what kind of vacuum cleaner I have, whether I have a TV, internet, or any of those things. They don't need to know it. So let's get back to South Africa. That tribe in the rainforest. So that tribe in the rainforest doesn't know about the rest of the world. They couldn't care less about the rest of the world. The rest of the world can annihilate itself, and that tribe will just carry on living. Have you ever thought about how simple that is, how beautiful humanity is? That we only need 5 things for survival. And I keep speaking about that over and over. And for a lot of people, it hasn't sunk in yet that it's that simple. 5 things you need for survival. water, food, shelter, energy, and something to keep you sane. Where the shelter means that you need to be underground, on the sea, in the air. There's many places where you can find shelter from whatever's coming at you. And shelter includes time, distance, and shielding. And in South Africa, we are in the best place possible to find shelter from any eventuality anywhere in the world. The Southern African region is the safest from cataclysmic events by far, and the world elites know this. So, what is South Africa's role in the world? What don't you know from behind the scenes? That South Africa needs to go through a very trying time now, that the United Nations wants to take control of an interim government due to government failure by the year 2025. This has been planned for a very, very long time. It doesn't mean they're going to get it right, but this is what they are trying to do. For the United Nations to justify an interim government due to the African National Congress failing as a government. So we are at a critical time period now in South African history. Now, I hope that they fail dismally so that they can just leave us alone. And my father strongly believed that we will succeed and that South Africa will become forgotten by the rest of the world, because they will have so much turmoil and fighting going on in the rest of the world that we will be forgotten. But for us to get there, most people in this country will lose everything they have. You will only literally have the clothes on your back. This is why I tell people, get rid of all your debt now. There's going to come a time where the banks will come after you. They will appoint extra sheriffs. They will be on top of people, and they will be stuck to you like a bosluis to a boerboel. It's going to become very messy. Get rid of your debt. Do things cash. And then prepare yourself for a time when fiat currency will not be accepted as a valid way of exchange anymore. And here's my first warning. Our department that looks after our car licenses, and it's been a heated debate for a long time now, the fact that people couldn't renew their licenses. I'm one of them. But remember, your license doesn't expire, your card expires. It's a money-making racket. They are talking now about new driving license cards that's in the blockchain. And I've warned people before that the blockchain and cryptocurrency is not what you think it is. It is so that your transactions can be fully monitored, tracked, and traced. Nothing can be hidden anymore. With fiat currency, physical money, you can still hide behind a bush and do an exchange that no one else can see, as long as there's no drones flying around or satellites watching you. In the blockchain, everything is monitored, tracked, and traced. And anyone that doesn't believe that, I can't help you. Okay, I feel sorry for you. So you will not be able to do anything without the blockchain in future. And because we will be in a situation where the blockchain will literally control everything, there is no transaction that will be done that won't be monitored. Where AI won't instantly know what you have done. And these supercomputer and computer blocks are being built everywhere. All network operators, Vodacom, MTN, the whole freaking lot, are building these centers where AI can literally be processed in real time on everything that you are doing. Now, why are they pushing so hard for fifth generation technology in South Africa, and why has it failed so far? Why has Naledi Abrahams failed at getting this right? And in the ANC's elective conference now in Port Elizabeth, there were heavy fights for positions. And in the end, the Cyril Ramaphosa faction won again, which means that money is talking probably bigger than last time he was elected. They desperately need to keep him there for one simple reason. He is the New World Order man. He has to implement this new order and see this complete collapse of the country through. This is his job. Whether he likes it or not, he doesn't have much of a choice at this stage. So cryptocurrency will play a huge role in future in controlling how people behave. And South Africa is the largest per capita cryptocurrency invested community in the world. South Africa is the largest per capita cryptocurrency community invested in the world. And I'm sure that Johan Rupert and the Oppenheimers has quite a bit to do with that, seeing that Rupert has billions invested in cryptocurrency. And I'm sure when he rips his whale out of the Bitcoin wallet, it kind of sends ripples throughout the world, with the amount that he has invested. So bartering and trading, as T. Christie says, is definitely a valuable way of learning to get by. Why will South Africa survive and why are we special? Okay, why do the world elites know that we will survive? Because there's people living with nothing right now and surviving. They just need the 5 things for survival. They don't depend on a Porsche or very fancy mountain bike or the latest flat screen TV or any of those things to survive. They only need 5 things. So if you need more than the 5 things for survival to survive, you will die. You will not make it. I can guarantee you that now. I can tell you now that if you need more than the 5 things to survive, you will not make what is coming. You will not survive it. And it's going to be a difficult time in South Africa. The worst time in the world will hit us first. Once we are through our difficulty, the rest of the world will envy us. But they will be so busy battling their own battles that they'll forget about us and we can start rebuilding what we know is left of the country, and we can rebuild it to something where we can a semblance of civility, a semblance of freedom. And most of all, with strong citizenry, we can be a beacon of freedom in the world and be an example of what freedom can look like. The kind of freedom where you have freedom of choice to live your life and believe what you want without directly hurting other people. And that is the most important thing. And that is unique in the world. It doesn't exist anywhere right now. So, what we are trying to achieve is a huge undertaking, but we will achieve it. In South Africa, we will achieve it. Why? Because the evidence suggests that we will. During the COVID pandemic, many people said that people are going to raid homes, the poor, they're going to raid homes and steal food from people. And I said, look at the evidence on the ground. People stood for miles in queues to get food packages. They did not go raid homes. That is the truth. That is what actually happened. But a lot of people don't want to accept the truth. The truth is inconvenient for them, especially the fearmongers out there. It's inconvenient. So if you only need the 5 things for survival, if you have the clothes on your back and you have the 5 things for survival, you will be okay. If you are linked up with people that feel the same way and are also prepared, you will be okay. You will survive. And we will not only survive in South Africa, we will actually flourish in South Africa. And it's important that you get a complete mind shift in your mind. The life that you're living now is not going to be the same by 2030. Let me repeat that. By 2030, the life as you know it now will not exist. Most of you will not be in the jobs that you're in now at all. Our financial system will not be the same as it is now. It will be completely changed. If you do not prepare for that time, you will not make it. Literally not make it. And that person now living in an informal settlement where the community is looking after each other, eating chicken feets or whatever every evening, they'll be fine. Nothing would have influenced them at all. But if you are used to eating out every second evening or having a lack of time, your life will be changed forever. Because that system that put you there is the system that will take you down. It was always planned to do that to you, to break you completely so that you will accept a one world government, the United Nations being your savior for you to live in a smart city system. That is the plan. If you don't want to believe it, you don't have to. But around the world, Kiev is a smart city being developed. And when I mean a smart city within the one world order, new democracy, that's what Kiev represents. And that is why the rest of the world is so badly fighting for that smart city, that smart metro on the border of Russia. It's so important to them. And they will fight to the death to try and protect that, even using tactical nukes if they have to. Just remember, exploding one nuclear weapon is not nuclear war. Exploding 10 nuclear weapons is not nuclear war. That is just a couple of bombs being thrown around. Do you know how many nuclear weapons are available in the world between Russia and the US? Tens of thousands. So I want you to see things in perspective, please, and understand that the videos that I put out on human experiment, every single one of them is there for a reason. Go and watch them. Share them with your friends and learn from them what you can. Read the description underneath those videos. They will benefit you in future. You don't have to. You can ignore everything I say, by all means. Or you can listen and you can go and do your own studies. I am telling you now that every single video I put out on human experiment is for your benefit. Watch them, share them with people that you care about. Please do that. Thank you so much for the more than 550 people that have joined this live stream. It's really been great to be with you, to speak to you about South Africa and our special role in the world. If you become a Double Odes member, you can just click the join button. Then you can get a lot more in-depth knowledge, detailed knowledge on what is happening in the world. You can go and watch my past presentations, and you can go and watch the past live streams. It's all there for you to watch. If you binge watch it, you only need to be a member for a month, and you will have access to all that information. But we're a community more than anything else. We support each other. I'm so glad that many other people came into this chat that aren't members. We want new people to come into these chats. It's very, very important that we invite as many people to these weekly live streams as possible. Every Tuesday at 8 o'clock, it'll take place for subscribers. Only subscribers can comment, but anyone is welcome to watch. If you've been a subscriber for more than 20 minutes, you'll be able to comment in the live stream. So I really want to thank you for so many people coming into this live stream. It's really special to have you here with me. And I hope I've given you a different perspective. And the last thing I want to tell you is most of the powerful families in this country are nearing retirement now. Many of them have moved many of the assets overseas already. And what is happening now is there's other people fighting for those positions. But what is actually happening is the three things I said would happen to South Africa in that build-up to the collapse of the government. The Zulu Kingdom collapse, the collapse of Eskom, and the secession battle. John Steenhuisen just returned from Ukraine and pronounced to President Cyril Ramaphosa that he has to change his stance on Ukraine and take a side and make a statement on that. And the people said, is he preparing to be the next president of South Africa? Yeah, people, can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? So there's a lot to do in the next 2 years, a lot to do. But just remember, this is not about politics. This is about us preparing ourselves for what is coming so that we can change the system when we have the critical mass of people. So it's about building that critical mass. We've gone past 40,100 subscribers now. well on our way. And it's incredible to see how fast the channel is growing at the moment, how fast the Telegram channel is growing. For those people that can't comment in the Telegram channel, we are busy repairing the error. It's an error that I made by removing people from the group and somehow made it impossible for them to comment. We are rectifying that at the moment and trying to find out where the system glitches. So thank you very much for all the effort that you've put in to the effort on the ground. There's so many of you that have traveled far to meetings, that have organized meetings, that have done so much on the ground, and it's not on social media. The country cannot see the hundreds of people gathering at these meetings. The country hasn't seen the thousands of people that have been to the WOD's meetings. I was privileged to see it, meet with all of you, and I'm really glad to say that I've met with 25% of all my subscribers, and it's a wonderful feeling to be in your presence, to have been able to be a part of your life, and to know that we can call all our people that have gone overseas back, those that want to go back, come back to South Africa, return here as fast as you can. I can unemphatically tell you, if there's anyone overseas that can return to South Africa, do it now. Come back to this country as fast as you can. It is really important that you do that. And I want to thank all the people that are making the success of what we are doing on the ground to help people to become free. The hashtag Freedom SA events, etc. The hashtag direct elections, having a new electoral system where we elect our leaders directly. Everyone that's helping with that drive, because this is what we are fighting for. We're fighting for new systems, and it's really absolutely worth the effort. And while the rest of the world is at war with each other, we're on the southern tip of Africa. Go and look at the globe and see where we are, and just thank yourself for the fact that you are here. Be very grateful for the fact that you were either born here, that you've moved here, that you're living here, or that you are here. And make sure you have the 5 things that you need for survival: water, food, shelter, energy, and something to keep you sane. And keep on inviting more people to this channel. There's a lot of new people that have joined. Those of you that are new, please go and watch the Moments in Time and Question Everything series. There's a lot of people making comments to my videos that don't understand where the channel comes from. If you go watch that history, it'll give you a better perspective. But thank you for joining us. This is an incredible community, and I look forward to seeing the WOD's channel membership community on Thursday evening again. And I'll soon put out the thumbnail that'll describe what we'll be talking about. I'll take some questions now for the next 7 minutes, and then I'll close off. Kathy, so grateful I live in South Africa. I love this country, absolutely. Kathy is one of the people that are almost fully self-reliant. Kathy, percentage-wise, how far would you say you are? Not all of us have fuel. A lot of us still need fuel from a garage. But if you can walk or cycle, then you can get far. Splitting of atoms only create heat. Absolutely, Corney. I don't know if anyone had something to say about nuclear. Yeah, bombshell, return to South Africa as fast as possible. Kathy, it says 11 months here by you. I don't know. Everyone says that when they actually make the comment, it says 1 month. I think what it means is for that month, you get that comment. Every month, you get a comment that you remember. But it shows the 11 months. So I just think people misunderstand. I like yogurt. Do I? Things are going to happen overseas, Ilka. Many people won't be able to move around. If you understand what's happening with the whole climate crisis situation, climate lockdowns, a lot of people won't be able to move. They won't even be allowed to fly planes out of certain countries. I don't think people understand what is going to be stopped. When Greta Thunberg said, we don't want planes in the sky, when Ocasio-Cortez said, I don't want planes in the sky, these people aren't joking. I don't think you understand what's happening with the supply of spares and fuel and many other things with regards to planes. You know, I'm giving you all the clues in videos. Just think a bit further. Thanks, Jaap. Francois Zondo is now Mr. Justice. Francois, that's a travesty. The irony is that a corrupt man has done a corruption inquest. I think it was Jacob Zuma's ace up his sleeve by appointing Zondo. It was a very clever move because he knew that it's going to compromise a president's office when the person that does the Zondo Commission becomes the Chief Justice of the country. I mean, that is unethical. If there's no questions, then we can all go and have a nice evening. Thank you so much that we had over 500 people watch this live stream. On Thursday evening, that's when I drop the bombshells, the real bombshells. The members understand and know. So I'm really glad that many non-members joined. We need as many people as possible to join these live streams on Tuesday evenings. And this was a large group of people. To get over 500 people in the live stream is a huge success on your side. Thank you very much for sharing the content. Please like the video. That drives the algorithm so that more people can actually watch it. The bomb finales. It's not. This is not Thursday evening, Ilka. Thursday evening. Kathy says we continue our self-reliance journey, working flat out on in the weeks. It takes dedication, but we love it. So dedication, discipline, all these things that you learn by becoming self-reliant are things that will help you survive what is coming. Susan Nell, I have sisters in France. I'm vaccine-free. The decision is going to be so difficult. Susan, you know, I can't describe to people in words what the people that are planning what's happening in the world are capable of. These are not people in government. The Committee of 300 is a powerful group of people, above all governments and laws, even international law. So, you know, if you've not watched the video on the Committee of 300 on the channel Human Experiment, go and subscribe to Human Experiment. In the description below this video, you'll find the link to Human Experiment. Go and look for the video on the Committee of 300 and watch it. Besides the information I gave you in the 00 Days meetings, I have a lot more info on the committee than John had because of my father that could give me direct information. And the fact that I actually have documentation related to the committee, that certainly helps. The fact that someone else is speaking about a Committee of 300 and their independent research helps a lot. It makes a big difference, and he can give his perspective. So, yeah, please like and share the video. The more people like this video, the more people will be able to watch and see it. So please like this video, share it with your friends and family. And the last thing I want to say to you is love is the greatest power we can use in this country to overcome anything. Love is the greatest power, universal power that we can use in this country. It can overcome all evil. Love will overcome all evil. People that are evil cannot love. It's not possible. So the two cannot coexist. That is why it's important that love needs to be the focus. As long as love is the focus, there's no place for evil. And that is a very special thing to focus on. Hi, France, member for 11 months. Thanks so much for being part of the community. Good night, Helen. Maggie's asking a question. Can you do a video on China's strategy to get resources of South Africa, or is China not an issue for us? China is not an issue at all. Most of the minerals from South Africa is going to the US and the UK. Always has. So it's Anglo-American, which is the UK and America. The Chinese are used to process those minerals for it to be used for the New World Order plans. And the New World Order plans is plans for us. We are the New World Order, and a lot of people don't understand this. We are the order. It's a human order. So if we don't allow the order in the country, and we certainly don't, we are the most haragat people on the planet. You'll find right here in South Africa, haragat people. So what we need to do in South Africa is realign ourselves post our trauma, as we work through the trauma, to create a new culture where we can work together with people that have different religious beliefs, cultural beliefs, different way of doing things to us, to tolerate each other and to work together against a global enemy that wants to take our freedom away. So the fight is absolutely one fight for freedom. Okay. Yes, China is not just raping Africa. They are building entire city in Africa. And the Chinese people aren't leaving. But like I say, they are used as a tool only. China, I call them the ants of the New World Order. So Craig is absolutely correct. He says China is raping Africa. They even steal the topsoil and trees to plant, refurbish their deserts in West China, making out they are greening everything like perfect citizens of the globe. Absolutely not, Craig. They are the ants of the New World Order. They are just implementing whatever the New World Order proponents are telling them to do. And the moment the Rothschilds started funding China, that's when they started industrializing. So China wouldn't have achieved that without the Rothschild intervention. If you watch my Moments in Time video on the New World Order, on Adam Weishaupt, and on Amschel Rothschild, down to the last video, you will see when the Rothschilds started investing in China in the 80s and formed the bank there, where they control the Chinese economy. And once you understand that, you will understand completely why China is just a pawn, just a tool. That's all they are. But relevant. All China's banking software is British owned. Banking, yeah. Okay, people, it's time for me to go and spend time with my family. Thank you very much. Tomorrow I'll put out another 3 videos. This entire month, all the way through to July, I'll put out 3 videos a day. It's a time wherein Double Des was established as a channel. This channel has achieved 6.4 million views in the first year, 3.2 million. The next year, 3.2 million. That's almost 10,000 views a day, even while I was on tour. It's an incredible achievement. And for all of you, not for me, because you have grown the channel. I can't grow the channel like this. I don't put out popular content. So it's not something that people like to watch. I believe it's important information. People need to test it against their own research. Like I always say, don't believe a word that I say. I'm not anyone's leader. I'm not running for any public office. I never will. So, you know, I am just someone giving information, and I hope that you can use that information in your life. And hopefully there will be enough people that act the way I hope that they will and prepare themselves, because that will help my family to be safe. And what we'll try and do is get enough people in the rest of the world to do the same, so that we can have a critical mass of people around the world that know what to do when the time comes, when many things are under threat, so that we can navigate that and mitigate those events. So there's certain events we won't be able to prevent. There will be a monetary collapse worldwide. Money will be worth nothing. We cannot do anything to stop that, because we don't control the system. If we control the system, it would be a different story. So we need to implement something parallel before that happens. If we don't do it beforehand, we won't be able to survive. We won't even know how to survive. People that don't have any money and survive, they will be best off. It's that simple. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening. Lots of love to all of you. And once again, love is the tool, the power by which we can transform this country. There is no other means. If it's not by love, then there are evil intent, subversion, or anything bad. We're not interested in that. Okay. You know, the Skull and Crossbones, it's a Skull and Bones, Craig. The Skull and Bones Society is just a small fraternity. If you look at this, the committee of 300 and all the organizations they use, the Skull and Bones Society is used to get political game players who are just mere pawns. So good night, everyone. Sleep nicely. Have a good evening. See you again tomorrow.